Solihull Radio.
Hello, welcome back to the Solihull Radio Rock Show. I am Jake, once again, your host for the next couple of hours. So, I hope you enjoyed that. That was Coming Home by Sons of Apollo, who are a relatively new band, formed from members of some very famous groups, such as Guns N' Roses and Journey, and Steve Vai's band. So I hope you enjoyed that. There'll be lots more rock music to come over the next couple of hours. In the second hour, we are going to do the penultimate part of my little history of rock music, with the heavy side of the 2010s. No, we're not going to do that. The noughties. So we've had Jake's Mistake of the Week already. So as is typical, I'm now going to play the swears warning because there may be some swears in this program, and I don't want you to get offended by stuff you might be able to avoid. So this is the warning.
Now, there might be a few naughty words in this song, but we know you'd never repeat them.
So you have been warned. So we're going to go straight on with the next song, which is going to be Kill the Power by Skindred. This is a really cool kind of Caribbean-y influenced one. So this is Kill the Power.
Keep on drums, the drums, drums, the drums, drums, the drums, drums, the drums, drums, the drums.
That was Skindred with Kill the Power there. As people may or may not know if you've been listening for a while, I take requests. So if you'd like to bombard me with music, please go ahead. If you want to text in, the number's 075 64 30 30 64. You can ring me on 0121 70 40 185, or you can email me at studio@solihullradio.com. Now, I've already had our first couple of requests from people out there, so I'm going to play a couple of them in a minute. But I just got a text saying that that last song sounded a little bit like Bomber. It does, but it's probably a little bit more serious than Bomber, as that was, I'm not going to say a joke song, but it was a little bit sillier. So, first request is for Matt. He requested Explosivo by Tenacious D, but I couldn't find that one, so I've got you this instead. I hope this will do. There you go, Matt. I got you Master Exploder instead. I hope that'll do. So, on to our next song of the evening. We are going to play a classic Soundgarden track. I really love this one. It is my favourite, and it's Let Me Drown.
Over my eyes, born the
So that was Soundgarden there with Let Me Drown. Do love that song. Now, I have started a Facebook page for myself as a radio presenter. So if any of you want to get in contact with me, or if you've missed the name of a song, I'm going to put all my playlists on there. Or if you want to tell me what you do and don't want to hear, please go ahead and have a look. It's under Jake Morrison Radio Presenter. You should see it along with a picture of my ugly mug. So please go ahead, give it a like. If you want to hear, something, I'm available if you want to talk with me or whatever. So please get in contact. Now, for the next request, this is going to be a bit of a heavy one. This is for Janie. It's her absolute favourite Rammstein song. So this is Dalai Lama.
Ein Flugzeug liegt im Abendwind, an Bord ist auch ein Mann mit Kind. Sie sitzen sicher, sitzen warm und gehen so dem Schlaf ins Garn. In 3 Stunden sind sie da, zum Wiegenfeste der Mama. Die Sicht ist gut, der Himmel klar. Weiter, weiter ins Verderben. Wir müssen leben, bis wir sterben. Der Mensch gehört nicht in die Luft, so der Herr im Himmel ruft seine Söhne auf den Wind. Bringt mir dieses Menschenkind. Das Kind hat noch die Zeit verloren. Da springt ein Widerhall zu Ohren. Ein dumpfes Grollen treibt die Nacht und der Wolkentreiber lacht, schüttelt wach die Menschenfracht. Weiter, weiter ins Verderben. Wir müssen leben, bis wir sterben. Und das Kind zum Vater spricht: Hörst du denn den Donner nicht? Das ist der König aller Winde. Er will mich zu seinem Kinde. Aus den Wolken tropft ein Chor, kriecht sich in das kleine Ohr. Aus den Wolken tropft ein Chor, kriecht sich in das kleine Ohr. Komm her,
So that was Dalai Lama there for Janie. Now, you have been listening for about 24 minutes now. It has come to that time of evening again where I'm going to have to play some ads, so please sit back, relax, make yourself a cup of tea for the next couple of minutes while the ads roll, and then we'll get back to playing some more music.
You're listening to Solihull Radio.
Fed up with condensation every morning and hate that yucky mould patch in the bathroom? It's time to contact EnviroVent. They've helped tackle mould and condensation dampness in over 1 million homes, just like yours. To find out more and to book a free home survey, visit envirovent.com, because air matters.
Solihullradio.com.
Stagecoach Solihull teaches skills
in drama, singing and dance.
But these skills don't just vanish when the curtain falls.
They're skills for life, stretching imaginations and improving literacy.
For a career in the arts, learning new skills, or just having fun.
So visit our website
www.stagecoach.co.uk/Solihull.
Stagecoach Solihull. Skills for the arts. Skills for life. Yeah!
The Fireplace and Stove Centre, 1204 Stratford Road, Hall Green. Specialists in wood-burning stoves, gas and electric fires with over 50 live displays in the showroom. Come in and experience your new fireplace solutions. Call 0121 777 85 85 for more details.
You're listening to Solihull Radio.
Indian Dream on Dove House Parade, Solihull's premier family-run restaurant offering authentic Indian and Bangladeshi cuisine with fresh ingredients and creative chefs. They can provide bespoke dining experiences, eat in or take away. 0121 704 9058.
Solihull Radio.
Hello, welcome back to the Solihull Radio Rock Show. It is now about 26 minutes past 6, and time for the small band section I like to do. Now, this band is an offshoot of a band I played a couple of weeks ago called Dorje. This band is called Tosca. These guys are an instrumental progressive rock band, which I think is really cool. My band have actually supported them when they played their last tour in Birmingham. Now, this is off their debut EP, which I think is really cool if you like that kind of progressive sound. I hope you do, because there's some more progressive stuff coming in the second half of the show. But without further ado, this is Tosca with their song Chalk Teeth. That was Tosca there with Chalk Teeth. I hope you weren't expecting a singer to come in. I did warn you it was instrumental. But now, I think they're really cool. I don't know about anybody else. Now we're going to go on to another track. This is a Led Zeppelin track that doesn't get enough play, I think. This is one off, can't remember which album. I think it's Led Zeppelin 3, I think. It's a song called Out on the Tiles that I think is just a really cool song. That was Out on the Tiles there by Led Zeppelin. It was indeed from Led Zeppelin 3. I did have to look it up admittedly. Now we've had another request in. This one is from Donna. She would like Nickelback with A Million Miles an Hour. She apologises in advance, so sorry guys, but we're going to have to play Nickelback again. So here is A Million Miles an Hour.
I can taste the color of the light. The light.
happening all around. I can't deny that honest thing for me is finding time to finally breathe. See no signs of ever coming down. Another wave is coming in. 1,000,000 miles an hour. 1,000,000 miles an hour. We're going 1,000,000 miles an hour. 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 1,000,000 miles an
That was Nickelback there with 1,000,000 miles an hour. I hope you enjoyed that, or if you didn't, sorry. It's not long now until it's time to play the news and go on to my second half of the show, where we will be exploring the heavier side of the noughties, which should be good fun, so prepare yourself for that. So I'm going to give you a little bit more light music, just in case you're not into that kind of stuff. So I'm going to play a classic Genesis song now, just for those that are into that sort of thing. So here's Keep It Dark.
He wandered in his home. it dark.
Genesis there with Keep It Dark. It's a fantastic song. It's nearly news time, so we've got time for about 2 more tracks, I think. So we're going to play another classic band's track, but probably not the one you'll know. It's a Joy Division song, but it's not going to be the famous Love Will Tear Us Apart. This will be Something Must Break, which I believe was from their first album. So enjoy. So that was Joy Division there with Something Must Break. Now we've had a last minute request here for a song which I was unfortunately unable to find, so I'm sorry, Shelley. Here is the next best thing I could find. This is One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix instead of the one you asked for. I'm sorry.
Communicate, will now be party piece.
That was One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix there. That was requested by Shelley. Sorry I couldn't find the track you asked for, so I tried to get the next best thing. We're going to have one final song before we go to the news and then to the next segment. So this is by a band you may not have heard of called Cave In, and they've got a really cool kind of sound, and I thought, the people of Solihull might appreciate it. So this is a song called Penny Racer by Cave In.
Everything's a problem, is that why everybody answers all at once? Everything's a problem in my mind, so I make it any harder on me. We'll make you alright.
That was Cave In there with Penny Racer. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, we are going to go to the news now. I know it's a couple of minutes early, but it means we can have more fun with the second half. So, without further ado, here is the news, and I will see you on the other side.
From the Sky News Centre at 6, tens of thousands of people on sickness benefits will get backdated payments after government errors that have cost taxpayers more than £1 billion. The underpayments are because of mistakes dating back to 2011. Our chief political correspondent John Craig's in Westminster looking at the statement from the Department for Work and Pensions.
Anyone affected by this historic error will receive all of the money they're entitled to. That's why we've created a dedicated team of over 400 staff to examine cases and have paid back around £120 million so far.
Theresa May struck an optimistic tone as she arrived in Brussels for a key meeting with the other EU leaders on Brexit.
There is still the question of the Northern Irish backstop, but I believe everybody around the table wants to get a deal. By working intensively and closely, we can achieve that deal. I believe a deal is achievable, and now is the time to make it happen.
Yesterday, the President of the European Council wasn't hopeful of getting anywhere. Donald Tusk said the Prime Minister would have to come up with concrete ideas on what to do with the issue of the Irish border if anything was going to progress. Sources say an audio recordings emerged of the alleged torture and murder of a Saudi journalist. It's understood Jamal Khashoggi was killed at the Gulf States consulate in Istanbul before his body was disposed of. Britain has gone without coal to generate electricity for the equivalent of more than 2 months this year. So far, we've had 1,600 coal-free hours. That's more than double the number in 2016 and 2017 combined. A plane carrying Melania Trump from Washington to Philadelphia has been forced to land because of smoke in the cabin. Her spokesperson says everyone is fine and safe. England's cricketers have lost 2 early wickets as they look to chase down a target of 151 runs in their third one-day international against Sri Lanka. Johnny Bairstow was caught out after scoring just 4. The tourists 35 for 2 a few moments ago. That's the latest. I'm Kevin Gover.
Welcome back. That was the news there. So, in this second half of the segment, as I've been doing for the last few weeks, I'll be doing a little bit of a history of rock through the ages. And I've been doing it doing the heavy side and then the light side the following week. So we are now in the penultimate one, which is the heavy side of the noughties. So quite a bit of this isn't going to be so facty. It's going to have a little bit of anecdotally stuff, hopefully, as well. But yeah, this is a bit of a warning. This may get a little bit blue as it did with the 90s, but I hope you don't mind that. I definitely don't. So without any further ado, let's begin. Now, as people that were born during the late 70s, early 80s started to get near their 20s, they started to become more popular as musicians. So you got musicians that were influenced by Queen, such as this band here, in making a very new and innovative sound.
to make things right. You and I must fight for our rights. You and I must fight to survive. No one's gonna take me alive. The time has come to make things right. You and I must fight for our rights. You and I must fight to survive.
Song there, Knights of Sidonia by Muse, was pretty much the soundtrack to my time at college, I've got to admit that. But another thing that happened during the kind of noughties was that some of the bands that were really kind of politically motivated and that kind of thing broke up, and a few of them actually formed supergroups formed with each other with a slightly different sound and outlook, such as this band here. some of the songs that came out of the bands that kind of started in the late 90s, such as this band here, have become kind of legendary and practically so overplayed that they've become very annoying. In fact, this song, you go into any rock club and you will hear this playing at least once through the night.
Ah, shit.
It seems what's left of my human side is slowly changing in me. Will you give it to me? Looking at my own reflection, when suddenly it changes, violently it changes. Oh no, there is no turning back now. You've woken up the demon, the enemy. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and let it run to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You fucker, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. And this is the gift that has been given to me. I can see inside you, the sickness is rising. Don't try to deny what you feel. Will you give it to me? It seems that all that was good has died and is decaying in me. Will you give it to me? It seems you're having some trouble in dealing with these changes, living with these changes. Now the world is a scary place. Now that you've woken up the demon, the enemy. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and let it run to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mama, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You fucker, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. And this is the gift that has been given to me. And when I dream, and when I dream, and when I dream, and when I dream. No, mommy, don't do it again. Don't do it again. I'll be a good boy. I'll be a good boy. I promise. No, mommy, don't hit me. Ow. I never hit me like that, mommy. Don't do it. You're hurting me. I have to be such a bitch. Why don't you? Why can't you fuck up and die? Why can't you just fuck up and die? Why can't you just leave me and die? Never stick your hand in my face again, bitch. Fuck you. I don't need this shit. You stupid, sadistic, abusive fucking whore. Would you like to see how it feels, mommy? Here it comes, get ready to die. Oh, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and then never win to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You must not get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You fucking get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Man, this has now come over me.
Now, with the rap rock of the 80s and 90s happening, things were getting a bit more experimental along with the kind of funk side, so some bands decided to throw it all in and become absolutely mental, such as this next band that, again, get a lot of radio play, but they are good.
software version 7.0. Looking at life through the eyes of a tire hub. Eating seeds is a pastime activity. The toxicity of our city, No! What do you own the world? How do you own disorder? No! Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Disorder. Fires, loud neighbors, flashlight reveries caught in the headlights of a truck. Eating seeds as a pastime activity. The toxicity of our city, No! What do you own the world? How do you own disorder? No! Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Disorder.
Now, another thing that popped out of that is something called nu metal, which was kind of a continuation of things that Korn and people were doing in the 90s, and it kind of reached its peak around 2002 with bands such as this.
Tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like
Now, some bands were taking that kind of angsty energy of bands like Korn and combining it with that aggression of Pantera to create this big, angry sound that was really appealing to the teenagers of this kind of time. One thing you might have noticed from that song is how distorted some of the vocals are, and this is the real prominence after stuff like the 80s death metal and some of the 90s stuff of a technique of singing called screaming, where you distort the voice to create this very aggressive sound. And it became really popular, and loads of bands do it, and I'm going to play a few of them tonight. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it doesn't put you off it too much.
brings release and the hope of a new day, waking the misery of being without you. Surrender. I give in. Another moment is another eternity. For comfort, for solace, for the end of my broken heart, completion. I'll be waiting for the end of my broken You know me all too well. My only desire to bridge our division. In sorrow, I speak your name, and my voice mirrors my timeline. For comfort, for solace, for the end of my broken heart, completion. I'll be waiting for the end of my broken heart. Am I breathing? My strength fails me. Your picture, a bitter memory. Yeah. For solace, for comfort, for solace, for the end of my broken
Now, there was another craze that happened in the heavy world, which was melodeath. And this was a combination of death metal with some more melodic sounds going on.
so much to pain, we're swallowing us tonight. Pretend the picture is perfect.
So the people that enjoyed thrash metal in the 80s started to make a bit of a comeback, but they took it in a slightly more technical direction. So they weren't just like a group of punk kind of guys making angry music in a shed anymore. These guys were much more competent musicians that created some incredible songs.
The eye of a dead man's face. I take the wings of a man not yet in his grave. But take what's over all too soon. Because nothing is over, nothing's wrong. So we bury out. For the love of mother, I will sing this fucking song. Abstinence of hate, I hope you run and screen left me fucking sick. I felt the hatred rising, you son of a bitch. You played us pathetic for response, but he made us live on deep reverence from beyond the rest. For the love of mother, I will say these fucking words. Abstinence of hate, I hope you burn in hell. Down.
Now, something that started to happen again in the noughties, which I did quite enjoy and may have gone a little bit overkill with, is the kind of re-emergence of progressive music that's starting to make a bit of a comeback in today's kind of society with people like Periphery and things like that. And people, particularly Periphery and bands such as that created something called Gent, which is a very tight, very rhythmic sound, took inspiration from the Next band, who tried to have a go at removing pretty much all melody and keeping to really odd and unusual rhythms in their music, which is a band that's legendary called Meshuggah. And not all prog was as violent and aggressive as that. Some of it was much more melodic, inspired by some of the 70s bands such as Yes, such as this band now.
We have ourselves to blame. not questioning, accepted as the truth. Debate this fight, it's just cause the facts do not support theirs. To liberate a people and rid them of tyrant rule. Is it time to make a change? Are we closer than before? Can we help them break away? Are we profiting from war? It's time to make a change.
hear quite a heavy Queen influence in that song. Now the next and final song of this section is another progressive one, and this is to show that not all progressive music has to be very notey. So this is a bit of a less notey one.
Lost all I had that April day. I turned to my friends, nothing to say. I wrote down a name and read it twice. I wallowed in shame. Said that I loved eternal schemes. I cling to my past like childish dreams. I promise to stay and held my breath. I went far away.
This brings us to the end of another week of the Solihull Radio Rock Show. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I may have gone a little bit overkill with the stuff towards the end, but what can I say? It's my favourite kind of stuff. So please join me again next week, where I'll be playing the final week of my history of music. We'll be doing the lighter kind of side of the noughties. So if you didn't like that, if that was a bit too heavy for you, please come back next week, and I promise I won't play that kind of stuff again. So yeah, if you've got any comments or anything, if you'd like to go to my Facebook page, which is Jake Morrison Radio Presenter, then I would be very grateful to hear your kind of take on it and your opinions and anything you'd like me to do. But now we're going to just play out on a really famous song, that just something to calm you down after all that heavy stuff.
You boys and girls, London calling, now don't look to us. Phony Beatlemania has bitten the dust. London calling, see we ain't got no swing, except for the ring and the truncheon thing. The ice age is coming, the sun's zooming in. Meltdown expected, the wheat is going thin. Engines stop running, but I have no fear, 'cause London is drowning. I live by the river, to the imitation zone. Forget it, brother, you can go it alone. London calling to the zombies of death. Quit holding out and draw another breath. London calling, and I don't wanna shout, but while we were talking, I saw you nodding out. London calling, see we ain't got no hide, except for that one with the yellowy eyes. The ice age is coming, the sun's zooming in. Engines stop running, the wheat is going big. A nuclear error, but I have no fear, 'cause London is drowning. I live by the river. Engines stop running, the wheat is going big. A nuclear error, but I have no fear, 'cause London is drowning. I live by the river. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Now get this. London calling, yes, I was there too. And you know what they said? Well, some of it was true. London calling at the top of the dial. And after all this, won't you give me a smile? London calling. I never felt so much like